This video by YouTube megastar MrBeast has sparked a controversy in Mexico.
MrBeast is in the middle of a scandal that now involves the president of Mexico.
When MrBeast dropped, I explored 2,000-year-old ancient temples last month. The clip rocketed past 60 million views in a week and slipped in a playful shout-out to his Feastables chocolate bars. Viewers loved the Indiana Jones vibe, but Mexico's cultural watchdog, INAH, did not. The agency says the YouTuber's team commercialized the sacred site of Chichén Itzá and other Mayan ruins without permission. Now INAH has hauled MrBeast's production company, Full Circle Media, into court, demanding damages, a public apology, and a cut of any ad revenue. Officials also claim the crew filmed in off-limits areas, night drone shots over El Castillo, a helicopter drop-in, even an overnight campout. Actions they say violate federal heritage laws meant to protect archaeological treasures. MrBeast's camp hits back. We had permits, we followed the rules, and the video promotes Mexican culture. So did Jimmy Donaldson actually break the law, or is this a high-stakes PR standoff? In the next few minutes, we'll unpack the permit fine print, the lawsuit's demands, the political backlash, and whether the Feastables plug really crossed the legal line.
Can't believe the government's letting us do this. Not even archaeologists are allowed to go back here.
Turns out he was the only one surprised. Even Mexico's president Claudia Sheinbaum is asking for answers about how MrBeast got special access to these protected sites, because Mexican authorities did in fact give MrBeast's production company permission to film the ruins.
The viral upload MrBeast dropped, I explored 2,000-year-old ancient temples on May 10th, 2025. In the first 7 days, the counter blew past 65 million views, putting it on pace with his Chocolate Factory remake and the $1 million bunker episode. Early in the video, around the 3-minute mark, Jimmy pulls a Feastables bar from his backpack. Cracks, the Mayans definitely invented chocolate, so here's their special dessert. A lower third flashes, sponsored by Feastables, and the camera lingers on the wrapper while he chews in front of El Castillo. That single gag is the hook INAH says crossed the line from educational tourism to commercial exploitation of a UNESCO site. Cinematic flourishes push the hype even higher. A dawn drone fly-through of the pyramid staircase, a helicopter establishing shot over the jungle canopy, and an overnight campout sequence lit by tiki torches. All three stunts now sit at the heart of Mexico's complaint. Officials insist the permit barred drones inside the core zone, prohibited aircraft within 5 kilometers, and never authorized anyone to sleep on site.
MrBeast is in the middle of a scandal that now involves the president of Mexico. Right, and so it's all connected to this video that he posted titled, I explored 2,000-year-old ancient temples, and in it, MrBeast explores historical sites in Mexico, with it notably including El Castillo and Chichén Itzá, which is one of the wonders of the world. And one of the things that you see in the video is the guide laying down the law of what you can and cannot do in these sites.
Well, there's some ceramic pot shards.
Whoa, this is so cool.
Can I take one home?
Well, you will go to jail.
I would go to jail?
Yes, sir.
All right, I won't take one home.
And then at other points in the video, it also looks like they helicopter around to the temples, and a guide lets MrBeast hold what he says is an ancient and historically significant mass. But then all of this leading up to their trip to El Castillo, which they only stand outside of as people aren't allowed into the temple up top. But then MrBeast...
Permit or PR stunt. Mexico's National Institute of Anthropology and History, INAH, says MrBeast's crew did have a strictly non-commercial filming permit for Chichén Itzá and Calakmul, but the fine print banned 3 things. 1, brand promotion, 2, drones or aircraft inside the core zone, and 3, overnight stays. The minute Jimmy cracked open a Feastables bar on the pyramid steps, INAH argues the permit was blown to pieces, turning an educational tour into a candy ad. Officials add that the production used a helicopter for those sweeping jungle flyovers and parked a drone on the staircase for the now viral sunrise shot, both moves explicitly barred under heritage site rules. Worst of all, in INAH's eyes, the team pitched tents and tiki torches for a 100-hour survival segment, even though the permit allowed filming only between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. MrBeast's camp shoots back that no promotional footage was filmed on restricted ground, and that the Feastables gag was added later via B-roll. They also claim an INAH liaison was on set the whole time, visible in the video wearing an official vest. INAH counters that the liaison's presence doesn't override the law, and that any monetized upload with product placement is, by definition, commercial. Cue the lawsuit.
MrBeast seemingly finds a workaround.
Out of respect for the culture and all the people who hold this very sacred, we are not gonna touch the temple. Instead, we're gonna fly this drone up to see what's in that secret room. You cool with this?
this cool.
So MrBeast sends up the drone and shows the footage of what it saw inside, with us then also seeing a lot of criticism about this video because some of the places that MrBeast went are generally closed off to the public. And so a number of people, they watched this and they wondered why and how MrBeast was granted access to these sites, which are considered sacred. And we're not just talking about random people online. I mean, news outlets in Mexico were even covering this story, with then all of it even growing to the point where the president of Mexico, Claudia Sheinbaum, addressed it during a press conference, where they're saying that
3. The lawsuit on May 15th, 2025, Mexico's National Institute of Anthropology and History, INAH, filed an administrative lawsuit in a Mexico City federal court against Full Circle Media, the production company listed on MrBeast's permits. The 28-page brief accuses the crew of illicit use for profit at Chichén Itzá, Calakmul, and Balam Canché, citing 2 main breaches: 1. On-camera promotion of Feastables and other brands, and 2. Filming maneuvers, drones, helicopter passes, and overnight campout, explicitly barred by the strictly non-commercial permit. INAH is demanding a public retraction, removal, or demonetization of the episode, and civil damages equal to 25% of the video's ad revenue, plus a 10 million Mexican peso, approximately $585,000 US, heritage fine. The suit also asks the court to set a precedent that any monetized YouTube upload featuring brand placement constitutes commercial exploitation under Mexico's federal law on archaeological, artistic, and historic zones. NA lawyers flagged the 7-second close-up of a Feastables wrapper as the smoking gun, arguing that the product's visual prominence converts cultural patrimony into advertising space. They further claim helicopter footage violated a 5-kilometer no-fly buffer around UNESCO sites, and that the crew's sunrise drone shot from El Castillo's staircase could have caused structural vibration damage. If the court sides with INAH, penalties could range from a takedown order to a 6-figure fine and a revenue-sharing decree that would redirect a slice of MrBeast's YouTube earnings to Mexico's Heritage Site Restoration Fund. MrBeast's legal team calls the filing an overreach designed for headlines, noting that an INAH liaison appears on camera throughout the shoot. The first hearing is set for July 22nd, 2025. Until then, the video stays live, and the comment war rages on.
the president of Mexico, Claudia Sheinbaum, addressed it during a press conference, where they're saying that permits were granted for his trip and video, but also noting that a review is needed to see if the permissions granted were violated and what sanctions would follow if that was the case. And we got that as you also had the National Institute of Anthropology and History in Mexico addressing MrBeast's video in a press release earlier this week, writing that the visit was, quote, carried out in accordance with formal requests made by the Federal Ministry of Tourism and local governments. But then also their statement,
creative liberties called out. INAH's complaint zeroes in on what it calls Hollywood edits that misrepresent both the permit and the ruins themselves. In the video, viewers see a helicopter swooping over the jungle canopy before MrBeast touches down near El Castillo. INAH says no aircraft were ever cleared to land or even enter the 5-kilometer no-fly buffer around the core zone. The aerial shot was stitched in from stock footage, yet it implies the crew arrived that way. A sunrise drone fly through up the pyramid staircase that appears to skim mere inches from the stone. Officials insist the permit barred drones inside protected areas and claim that segment was either filmed without authorization or digitally composited. An overnight 100-hour survival camp out complete with tents and tiki torches on the plaza. INAH says the crew had access only between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. Any after-hours footage, including torchlight scenes, violates site use rules. Handling of what looks like a pre-Hispanic jade mask during a tunnel segment. Archaeologists note the artifact shown doesn't match items cataloged at Calakmul, suggesting either a replica or an undocumented object, both problematic under federal heritage law. INAH's legal brief argues these creative liberties distort public understanding and glamorize rule breaking, while MrBeast's lawyers counter that certain shots were cinematic recreations added in post-production and that any real on-site actions were supervised by an INAH liaison visible in the footage. The court will now decide whether those edits amount to harmless storytelling or evidence that the permit terms were knowingly stretched past the breaking point. 5. MrBeast fires. Back within hours of the lawsuit going public, a MrBeast spokesman emailed tech and entertainment outlets a 3-line statement. We obtained the required permits, filmed every sequence with an INAH liaison on site, and added no commercial content on restricted ground. The video celebrates Mexican heritage and was produced in good faith. In a longer follow-up to Business Insider, Jimmy's attorney framed the suit as an overreach designed for headlines. He laid out 3 rebuttals. 1. The Feastables close-up was shot on a public access walkway just outside the core zone, then spliced over B-roll of El Castillo. 2. The helicopter and sunrise drone passes were cinematic composites stitched from licensed stock footage precisely because INAH bars aircraft. 3. Every on-site take was logged and timestamped in the presence of an INAH supervisor who appears twice in the upload wearing an official vest. MrBeast himself broke his silence on X, writing, "Love Mexico, love its history. If any shot crossed a line, happy to discuss ways the video can now give back." Behind the scenes, Full Circle Media has reportedly floated donating a slice of ad revenue to INAH's restoration fund, an offer the agency has not yet answered. For now, the episode stays live, monetized, and locked in an algorithmic tug-of-war between our FreeBeast boosters and Respect the Ruins watchdogs.
Also, their statement disputed some of what MrBeast's video claims, specifically regarding El Castillo, which again is one of the more restricted areas in the video. And according to the Institute, MrBeast did not actually fly a drone inside of the temple, saying that it only went outside of the structure, with him then adding that there were other elements of the video that appeared to be potentially exaggerated, saying, "It should be noted that the video evidently involves extensive audiovisual post-production work and alludes to events that never occurred. For example, the producers never descended from a helicopter, spent the night inside the archaeological site, or possessed a pre-Hispanic mask, as the one presented as clearly a contemporary reproduction." But follow to stay in the loop.
What's at stake if Mexico's National Institute of Anthropology and History, INAH, wins its case? The court could hit MrBeast's production partner Full Circle Media with 3 big penalties. 1. A heritage fine of up to MXN 10 million, US 585,000. 2. A civil damages award equal to 25% of the video's ad revenue. And 3. An order to demonetize or even remove the upload entirely. Either way, the verdict will echo well beyond YouTube's recommendation feed.